All right. Good morning, Bismarck, Mandan. Dave Floor here, along with my co-host
Joe Sheehan from the Mortgage Guys.
All right. Greg Larson's he's making a deal this morning.
He is. He's off sign up.
Cool.
Looking for a referral for me.
Jim Walsh running the board as always. And we have a guest in the studio today that we could not be more happy to have because we're going to celebrate the Parade of Homes.
Are they a guest if you kidnap them?
I was brought here against my will.
I mean, it's about the only way we can get somebody to come in here and hang out with us.
Yeah, well, for our purposes, yes.
Okay,
she is a guest. Miss Dot Frank from the Bismarck Mandan Home Builders Association, our favorite Dot Frank. Yes. Not to be confused with.
Yes.
Did you ever hear that story? Have you ever heard the story about why we had to start calling the financial?
There's some unfavorable law that is, I think, coined Dodd-Frank.
Yes.
Yeah.
We call it Frank
and
Dodd.
so to protect myself and. We I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because I started getting these questions. Why don't you like Dodd-Frank? And I was like, I love Dodd-Frank. What are you talking about?
It's kind of like PMI. We hate Dodd-Frank, but we call it Frank Dodd. So.
Thank you.
We call it Frank Dodd just to protect the innocent.
Thank
because
you.
we love Dot Frank.
Because we are here to protect the innocent.
But anyway, Dot is here to talk about the Parade of Homes that is occurring starting today.
Yes.
Through the weekend. So Joe is going to do his interest rate thing, and then we'll jump in and see how it goes.
Let me get all stretched out here for the primary mortgage market survey says, oh, man. You're killing me, Smalls.
You're going to kick me in the butt again, aren't you, Joe?
30-year fixed-rate mortgage, 4.72%, with the 15-year fixed-rate mortgage coming in at 4.16%, with some small fees and whatever your lender might be charging on the average. But that is, in the headline news, the highest they have been in 7 years.
Unreal. 7 years.
Well, what does our friend Bill Bodner from the Mortgage Market Guide have to say about all of this hoopla? Well, inflation low and stable. We don't see any surprises to the upside. We don't see that it's not in our forecast. Fed Chair Powell yesterday. So we did get a gift from the Federal Chairman Powell in saying that that inflation is in check.
Yeah,
which is helping interest rates from being worse than they could be.
They took the news yesterday and kind of dropped a little bit, so rates did come down today. And
I did float through the night, locked a customer in this morning, and did get them a better interest rate this morning.
Oh, you're the hero.
That's what I
Joe
do
Sheehan,
for a
hero.
living. All right, Mr. Powell's soothing words on inflation at his press conference yesterday sent bond prices higher and yields lower. The Fed, as fully expected, raised the benchmark Fed funds rate by 0.25%, bringing it up to 2.25%, and set expectations for a hike in December, along with 3 more in 2019. This I might have been wrong about, Dave.
Oh,
I think we said that they wouldn't do it again, but they did.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're okay.
Yep. Within the statement, the Fed upped its numbers for economic growth and also revealed a tame inflation outlook through 2021. It was this latter number, coupled with Powell's press conference, that helped the bond market move higher. The year on the 10-year T-note, high of 3.12, and that's always been at 3%, has always been that ceiling.
Yep.
That on the T-note, that gives a sympathetic effect for mortgage fixed rates to go higher. Tuesday then slid to 3.3 in the early trading this morning before settling in at the current 3.06. Yeah. So it's flirting with going back under, but we just don't know. Yeah. This morning, very strong data from the August durable orders, up 4.5%. Pushed bond prices from their highs into negative territory. That means rates got worse, folks. The final read on QT GDP remained at a solid 4.2%, while weekly initial jobless claims continue to hover near lows seen in the late 1960s. Oh, everybody always wanted to go back to the 50s, leave it to Beaver. Well, we're working. Back to the future. Here we go. We feel the Fed's outlook on inflation was a gift to us in the mortgage housing world. The reason why mortgage rates remained at low levels for a decade was the lack of inflation. If the Fed is right on their forecast and believes inflation will remain at current levels through at least 2021, then mortgage rates can't move too high. So in talking to clients, so basically lock them if you got them.
Okay.
When things go over 3%, and that's what Mortgage Market Guide is saying, hey, listen, with where they're at, with them fluctuating, these are still record historic rates.
Yeah.
They're just the highest they've been in 7 years.
Yeah.
They've been low since 2009.
Yes.
They've went down to crazy levels, and this is where we thought was crazy was back in 2009. And so lock them if you got them. If you can afford the payment, probably a good time to move.
Yeah.
on it.
I think we found a new range here. Like it's probably the 10-year Treasury, if you want to pay attention on the news every night, it's probably not going to drop below 3%. And it's just how much of an upside is there. And one thing I've read is if it gets 312 is like a ceiling on it. Mm-hmm. And if it pops above 312 and stays there, then the next thing
will be in the low fives.
It's like 360 for the 10-year Treasury.
Right, and then we'll be in the low fives, right? So which are still great rates overall. And don't lock them, or unless real good advice that you had for a customer yesterday. There's certain days where you could probably do that based on news coming out and stuff where, let's wait till tomorrow. Good rates are all about timing. Timing's all about perspective.
Yeah. But if it's not a big deal to you, just...
Yeah, I mean, this is still, if your timing is somewhere since 1970, these are amazing rates.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if the last time you bought a house and got a loan was in 1970... I mean,
look at your timing.
Bam.
I mean...
Yeah.
You couldn't go wrong.
Awesome.
All right, Dave, take this show away. Let's talk to our friend Don.
Our guest, our victim, Frank, guest victim is here. And it's Parade of Homes weekend.
It is.
In Bismarck, Mandan. And how many homes you got that are parading?
Dang. So we have a total of 39 homes that were entered into this year's Parade of Homes. However, we only have 38 that are available for viewing. I think someone heard that now is still an excellent time to buy, particularly with these interest rates continuing to be quite attractive. They scooped up one of the parade houses, and they prefer not to have thousands of people come through it over the weekend.
Really?
Yeah. We have 38 homes that will be open and available for touring.
Okay, that's still a lot of homes to look at.
It's a lot of homes. It's a good thing it's 4 days.
What'd you have in the spring?
In the spring, we had 43.
So almost the same.
And what's really interesting is, there's always been a distinct difference in number of homes entered in the spring versus fall. Spring, because the seasonality of it, homes get completed over the winter months, and so it creates more inventory for us to share with the spectators. And so it's interesting to see these numbers continue to creep. But, I really think that the home buyers, or the home builders, and contractors are recognizing the value of showcasing their handiwork, opening up their homes to inspire people to either buy, now or later, or perhaps contact them about remodeling jobs. And so it's a really, really good opportunity for our members to demonstrate what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to head out on a break here, but when we come back, we'll get into a little more details about how they access the Parade of Homes, and it's not floats coming down the street. You got to drive around to these.
Absolutely.
And but there's apps and all that good stuff. So lots of ways to access it and how to get around. So, and Jim, what are we doing for music today?
Allman Brothers featuring Dickie Betts, who's recovering from a stroke.
Okay, Allman Brothers, Dickie Betts. There we go. Can't beat that. We'll be back on the Dakota Housing Network.
Right now, 48.
On Twitter, Facebook, online, and YouTube. supertalk1270.com.
All right, we're back on the Dakota Housing Network. Dave Floor, along with Joe Sheehan, Jim Walsh on the board, and our special victim guest, Frank, from the Bismarck Mandan Home Builders Association, and it is the Parade of Homes week. The fall Parade of Homes for the Bismarck Mandan Home Builders, and you got 38 homes.
38 homes.
To show. You had 39, but somebody bought one.
39, but someone bought one. And that happens, which is a good thing. That's good news for our contractor that house sold.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Parade of Homes. It starts today.
Starts today. Sunday.
Goes through Sunday.
Yeah, so this is a 4-day event. No, this parade has historically been a 4-day event. Okay. And you're going to need all 4 days. As we continue to grow this event, and these homes are spread across the community, it's leading to more time that's necessary to traverse from one to the next. And so it's a 4-day event. The tickets are $10, and the ticket is available at every house on the parade route. So wherever you begin, you can grab a ticket. That ticket is good to get into all 38 homes over the course of 4 days. So if you want to be fast and furious, you can try to get in as many as possible in 1 or 2 days, or you can take your time and leisurely make your way throughout the community.
Okay, and now I've got a fancy book in front of me, the 2018 Fall Parade of Homes, which is free, and people can pick this magazine up at all over town.
All
probably.
over town, yeah. So we partner with the Bismarck Tribune on the publication of this event. If you're a subscriber, you would have received it inside your newspaper last week. But we also have them racked throughout the community. So in most of the places where the newspaper is available, you'll find racks with our magazines. If that rack happens to be out, don't fret, because we will have Parade magazines at each and every one of the homes that you can grab. And we also have a mobile version, so you can get it online or you can access our app.
There's an app for that.
There's an app for that.
Of course there's an app.
Of course there's an app.
Yeah. No, there's also a website, bismanparade.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Bismanparade.com has a lot of information for the spectators. It talks about some how-tos. It also allows you to access our Google map, so you can see, where it's at on that map, and you print out if you want driving directions or utilize them while you're on the road. The best opportunity, though, I think, to get some drive-by-drive instructions is to download that app.
Okay. All right. And so you get
it will. I want to. What's really, really exciting about this app is the app lists all the homes. You can look at one map and it'll show you where they are in correlation to each other. You can click on the icon and access that house. You can create a list. So let's say that you really want to make it to these houses. Yeah. So you can create a list and it will navigate you to those homes in particular. There's also an opportunity to contact the builder directly through the app. So if you see a feature that you like or want to reach out to them, you can do that. You could take pictures. You can rate the homes. It's a really innovative way to get involved as a spectator with our event.
Yeah, it seems like you've made some additions to the app since
spring. Yeah, and so we're always trying to find ways to accommodate the spectators and our members, the builders and associate members, and the app has been one way that's afforded that opportunity. One thing that we're looking forward to, and I think it's baby steps, is getting to the point where we do e-ticketing. Yeah, so that's the next innovation that we're going to aspire to.
In the spring.
Yes, maybe.
Okay. Well, that would be nice.
But old school, we've got the printed magazine, which is nice to have around. Yeah. You can refer back to, you can highlight, you can circle.
No, one thing with the app, the book has a picture of each home. But the app, I would guess, has got more pictures.
Yeah, so the app has a capability of including interior photos, and some of our builders take advantage of that, others don't. It depends on the builder. You could go one way or the other. You could put it all out there, or you could encourage people to come and take a peek in real life. Yeah. And so we do have some builders, though, that have uploaded interior photography of their homes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I guess I would. I don't know. People see, it's nice on the outside, but then to see, it's nice on the inside. Let's go look at that one. Yeah. So, okay. No, there's prizes also. People go win prizes.
Yeah, so to encourage people to really fully participate in the parade, we're asking them to complete the registration information on their ticket, and at the last home, turn that in. On the reverse side of the ticket, there's a listing of all the homes, and spectators have the opportunity to vote on their favorite home in various price categories. So make sure that you mark off those homes that you really liked in a particular category. It's really nice as a builder to see that type of feedback. And then drop your ticket at the last house that you visit, and you'll be eligible to win one of two prizes. We're going to be giving away a $1,000 gift card, courtesy of our friends at Carpet World. Oh, boy. We also have a Riccar Radiance Premium Vacuum, and that is courtesy of J&R Vacuum and Sewing.
Now that's probably $1,000.
That is like $1,600.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm way
yes.
Off. That's how much I buy vacuums. But I know they're expensive. So, okay, wow, that's super.
And it is an excellent vacuum. Absolutely, yep.
Yeah, nice prizes. Okay, and then, and people get to vote for their favorite homes.
They do. So we divvy up our roster of homes into price categories because that's only fair to compete against priced homes. And so we've got, I believe, 9 price categories this year. So you'll be able to go and hopefully make it to all those homes in a particular price category and weigh out which one you like the best and vote for it.
Okay. So if you have a friend that's home builder, go vote, right?
If that's the strategy you employ.
Okay. Can you vote more than once?
No, because again, we're old school. This is a paper piece. You can vote more than once if you buy multiple tickets, which go ahead and do that if you'd like.
Yeah, okay. It's absolutely, yeah.
It's a vote per ticket.
Yeah, okay.
The one thing that's...
Still can be an unlimited vote.
Yeah, you just got to pay for it.
Yep.
The one thing that we are really excited about, this is year 2 of our Pick Pink campaign. And so we are working with the Bismarck Cancer Center Foundation. We have a special issue pink ticket, and literally the ticket is pink. So you'll stand out if you step up to purchase this ticket. The pink ticket is $20, and $10 of that ticket goes back to the Cancer Foundation.
Well, there you go. That's kind of an easy one.
Yeah, it really takes advantage of the outreach that we as an association have. When you have, 38 houses spread throughout the community and you've got thousands of people coming through, we've got that power of people to push that information. And so not only a way to generate funds, but also raise awareness to cancer research.
So basically $2 for $2 a house, you could buy a $20 ticket and it costs you $2 a house plus some gas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And it goes to a great cause.
Donation of, absolutely. No, obviously there's some basic questions that everybody's concerned about when they go to these. It's like, where do I put my shoes?
Where do I put my shoes? We encourage all builders to bring out benches and chairs so that you're not standing and trying to balance, taking your shoes on and off. So we have a couple different options. Of course, this is new construction, and this either is someone's home or is going to be someone's home shortly. So we want to respect that. And so, you can take your shoes off if you're wearing some socks. So I would highly recommend slip-ons. Wear slip-ons. But, for those of you who have a more difficult time or you just don't want to take your shoes off, we offer shoe covers. So you could slip a shoe cover on. We encourage our spectators to grab a set of shoe covers at the first house they visit and hang on to them. Reuse them throughout the house because, the other thing that we want to be mindful of is waste.
Just remember to take them off when you leave the house.
It kind of defeats the purpose if you keep them on the whole time. Yeah.
It's a little wet out there, folks. Okay. Now, the kiddies. People got kids, and the kids like to run all over the place.
Yeah, so please just keep an eye on kids. We love children. In fact, I think we encourage kids to come when we have the admission for kids as free. But we just want parents to again, recognize that this is someone's house or will be. And kids get excited, mine included. They want to run through the house, up and down the stairs, go in the closets, open doors. Just keep close tabs on them. But let them come out and experience these homes and, aspire to have a bedroom be theirs one day. It's a great family exercise, to get out and about and see the community.
Do a pocket check for the crayons when you get out of the car.
Yeah, exactly. And kids like to slam, stuff closing out. I bet most of these homes probably have the self-closing drawers.
Yes.
So don't let that kid just stand there, push that thing in, and try and slam it because he might break something.
So there are, one thing that's really great about new construction is new construction has to abide by the most current safety standards. Yeah. And so as you're right, as you're out and about in these homes, there are going to be features that you find in these homes that you won't see in older stock because of the way that we have, responded to different needs and safety standards. And so that's one thing that's encouraging about new construction is that, there are soft closed drawers. There are, mechanisms on garage doors that will prevent them from, coming down and crushing someone. So there's a lot of built-in safety features, which is one of the things that's really appealing about new construction for a family.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how many people typically have gone through this?
Yeah. So we usually have, several thousand individuals that come through these houses. In fact, one thing that we gauge our attendance on is the number of tickets sold. So that's what allows us to see that, 3,000 to 5,000 person mark between this parade and the spring. And it varies though for traffic from one home to the next. The homes that tend to have the highest traffic, uncoincidentally, are those that are clustered, because if you are in a cluster, it's easy for someone to park and then walk from one house to the next. We've had homes where there have been 1,800 people who have gone through that house in the course of 4 days.
Oh, boy.
Which is incredible because we always like to contrast that. To demonstrate the success of this event, we like to contrast that with a typical Sunday open house that our builders might have. And, if they get 5 people at a Sunday open house, they're happy. So we really like to share, the number of people that we can bring out.
And just think about buy that pink ticket. Because $10.
It's huge. Our goal really, you think about how many, several thousand people that come through. Our goal is just 200 tickets. If we can sell 200 pink tickets total, that's 5 per home. That's a $2,000 check we can cut.
If everybody would buy that pink ticket.
If everybody would, it would be phenomenal.
Awesome. Yeah. So people, there's the challenge from the home builders.
Step it up.
Step
Yes.
Up and everybody
An easy way to
ticket.
give. Yep.
Yeah. It's $10.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Now, where do I park?
On the street, preferably not in the garage of the house that you're visiting.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so a lot of the builders they do make accommodations. There's some excellent opportunities for on-street parking, and you'll notice that when you get out and about, we've got regulars that come every year. In fact, I met one individual who he and his wife make it an effort. I mean, and they've achieved this goal every year to attend every single house. So they make sure that they could check everyone off on the back of their ticket. So we've got some old pros. So I would say just follow the pattern, and it is on-street parking, and then you'll have to walk a little ways. But that's, part of the
you
fun.
have some people that just go to this just to see the houses and see what's in them and whatnot. Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. Yeah. Okay. I'd go in and say, well, I want that, I want that, I want that, and I can't afford all that. So yeah. Okay, so Jim's given us the signal. We got like 1 minute left. Probably a couple other things we'll want to mention about the parade before we get into other building issues when we come back from the break. So, Jim, what are we doing for music on this breakout?
The Allman Brothers, again, Dickie Betts. The Allman Brothers, Dickie Betts at the forefront. This is live at the Fillmore.
Oh, classic.
In memory of Elizabeth Reed. It was one of their extended jams.
Yes. And Dickie wrote this song, I believe.
Yes, he did.
Yes, all right. We'll be back on the Dakota Housing Network going out on a little Allman Brothers in memory of Elizabeth Reed.
Right now, 48.
Dave Ramsey is heard here. Super Talk 1270.
Oh, Lord, I was born a rambling man. Although I've stayed in North Dakota, I'm not really rambling. Joe, you rambled all the way from Montana.
It's so far from one side of the state to the other. You're rambling no matter what. Right. I mean, it's...
And Dot, you're a lifelong North Dakotan or not?
Actually, I was born in Minnesota, but I consider myself a North Dakotan. Okay. Our family moved back. Both my parents are from Minot, actually, and we moved to Garrison when I was just a toddler. So I'm North Dakotan.
You've kind of rambled around North Dakota.
Just a little bit, yeah.
And Jim, he's the guy that's rambled all over, from the East Coast to the West Coast to North Dakota.
Seen it all.
All right, okay. Yeah. We're talking Parade of Homes with Dot Frank from the Bismarck Mandan Home Builders, and Dot, the Parade of Homes is going on this weekend.
Starts today, goes through Sunday.
There's 38 homes to take a peek at, so get your tickets for $10, but we are encouraging everybody to buy the $20 pink ticket, so $10 goes to the Bismarck Cancer Society, correct?
The Bismarck Cancer Center Foundation.
Center Foundation, okay. So a couple thousand people buy a $20 ticket, $10 of that's going to go there. That would be super.
That would be excellent.
Yeah, okay. So there's your challenge, folks. Okay. A couple other questions or things to talk about with the Parade of Homes. How about food or drink? Can I bring in my beer and my chips?
Well, I guess
to watch
it depends.
The game on Sunday?
Yeah, I guess it depends on whose house you're visiting and if they have that home theater set up and ready to go. No, we do recommend that you keep all food and drinks inside your car. Yes, and that's one of the challenges with kids in particular is the lollipops and hard
Sippy
candies.
Okay.
We advise against that. Yeah.
So if these said the home theaters, do any of the builders have something like that set up?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Okay.
So
they've got to run it so you can get that feel.
Yes, yeah. And one thing is this is not only an opportunity for the builders, so whose name is on the sign out front, but all of their subcontractors. And so it's great that our associate members can come out and talk to the folks about the products that they put into these houses. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when it comes to home theater systems, they'll have reps from our members who sell those systems to talk about how they work. And you'll walk into the home and you'll feel the bass and hear the sound, and a lot of times they'll have family-friendly movies playing, so you can get a sense for what a home theater's like.
Yeah, okay. Well, and they may have some games on this weekend. Just a suggestion.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yes, that would be a good idea.
There's some big game going on in Fargo. I know that. And then, the Vikings play tonight, so that could be on.
That could be on.
And then Packers, Broncos, etc. So, yeah, okay. So you could go home and watch a game.
Absolutely.
But then you wouldn't get to all the homes. So
you wouldn't.
Do that.
No, so just go from home to home. Just time it right during maybe like a
go.
commercial break to head to the next.
Okay. Are all the homes for sale? Yes, they are, right? Except for the one.
Yeah, except for the one that we had to pull from the parade. But all of the homes that are priced are available for purchase. We do have a category of homes that you'll see that are called pre-sold or undisclosed price. That means they are a sold house, but their buyer is comfortable letting people kind of scope out what that builder has created for them. But if it's got a price on it and it interests you, we've got people that have purchased these parade homes during the parade in years years past. The other thing is, as you're exploring these homes, perhaps you like the house, but you're not a fan of the location. Talk to that builder, because there's an opportunity for that floor plan to be recreated in a neighborhood that you prefer, and vice versa. Perhaps there's a neighborhood you really like, but the house isn't in your your style. Again, talk to the builders and find out what availability is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think they'll say, yeah, we'll build you that one over
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You just got to wait for it. Okay. And no people, it's no order. People
No,
just go, and they can go to one house or 38.
Yeah. So the way that the homes are numbered, 1 through 39 actually, is by price order. And so we go from the entry level house up to the highest priced house. But by all means, don't follow the numbers as a sequence to view these homes, because it would be a wild goose chase. Instead, pay attention to the map. And, again, based on clusters and locations throughout the community, that's probably the best way to ensure you have as much time as possible during parade hours to take in these homes.
Yeah, and we start at the lowest priced home is at $259,900.
Yes, which is an attractive entry-level house.
Yeah, okay, and then we go up to the undisclosed prices.
The undisclosed, and the highest priced house in our parade this year is $1.25 million, and that's down in Whispering Bay.
Ah, okay, all right. Now, I know the magazine here's got all the partners that are participating in this. The ads are in there. How about the app? Does that have the subs?
Yeah, yep. So the app lists the subs. The app also includes a membership directory. So if you are looking for, a plumber or an electrician, you can use that app. That app doesn't have to be used exclusively for this, 4-day period. Keep it on your phone, and you can refer back to it. Yeah. If you need to reach out and connect with these builders in the future.
Yeah, and the subcontractors and the lenders and stuff that are advertising, are they're in the app also, so you have you can contact them
yes.
through the app
yep.
also.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So get the app. That's
app.
The word. Is
yes.
the easiest thing, because who doesn't have a phone nowadays that it'll work on? So okay. All right. So we'll get back to the Parade of Homes, our last segment, but let's talk about other stuff going on in Bismarck, Mandan with home building.
Yeah.
So how was the season? How did it go?
Gosh, I think the season depends on who you ask and in what community they're constructing. The way that the Home Builders Association really kind of tracks not necessarily success, but work, I guess, in our industry is by following the permit reports. And permit reports are available from all of the municipalities. And so we pay particular attention to, Bismarck, of course, Mandan, Lincoln, Burleigh, and Morton counties. When you look across those different areas for construction, all of them are doing, pretty well, on track compared to last year. Mandan in particular has really excelled this year. They have had a lot of residential permits that have been pulled for that community. The one that's been behind is Bismarck. And Bismarck is really contributing to the decline in permits overall when you look at data, in particular, that our friends at the Bismarck Mandan Development Association publish. Okay. So it's really Bismarck that could pick up a little bit of slack as we head into the end of this season to help move these numbers up.
Okay. Is there a reason been identified where Bismarck slowed down?
There's some anecdotal information. There's not a real easy way for us to find out why exactly this is transpiring. One of the reasons could be the fact that there are relatively few landowners in Bismarck. And so, we're really at the mercy of how many lots that they make available at any given time. Yeah. Mandan has seen some, excellent growth as of recently because there's been some new plats that have come online. There's some construction opportunity, and you'll notice this when you're out and about looking at these homes in Northwest Mandan up by Red Trail Elementary. There's a new development going in there just straight south of the school, adjacent to the school, in fact. Over by the middle school, there's some construction that's taking place, and that's really taking off. And then we still find that there are homes cropping up down in Keitles, so that's down by Fort Lincoln Elementary. And then Lakewood continues to, make the lot availability, and we'll see those permits attributed to that part of town.
Okay. And Joel, new construction with lending, how's that been going this summer?
We haven't had as many applicants for
new construction.
Yeah. Okay. I think the anecdotal stories that Dot's talking about, I think, are that a lot of people in that baby boomer range, pre-retirement, retirement, downsizing, and that is where some of the construction is happening. It's in newer, smaller, units with associations, things like that, and that's probably where you see most. But sometimes they're paying cash. unless their house isn't selling.
Yeah.
And I think that's also one of the things that if you're a builder, when I talk to builders, I mean, you look at the existing inventory, and that's what you're competing with. Mm-hmm. And you're competing with a really large existing inventory right now that at any given time an existing house, for good reason, runs about 15 to 10% behind or is lower in price than a new construction, because, as Dot had mentioned, the new constructions are up to date with the latest and greatest, and right now we're dealing with material costs. In terms of across the country, material costs are up a little bit, and so thank God we're not dealing with fuel costs either on shipping. But I think that just overall, I don't know that it's because that I get the anecdotal word is that some of the builders are not being as aggressive because they can't predict the consumer mindset right now with such a large existing inventory. Yeah. And that's the anecdotal story here. I don't have stats to base that, except for that as I talk to realtors, I get more anecdotal stories about how the people that they're listing with are they're higher in age. They're in that late 50s, mid 60s, and that most of the clients that they're listing with are in that age.
And I think, at least my observation is Bismarck, Mandan, it seems like we have some very I call them prudent builders. They're not going off the deep end and just building spec homes.
Drop 200 homes, right?
They consider what the market is doing before they build, and they stick to, hey, I'm going to build this on request.
And what I've heard is it's really difficult. Where the other place that we are seeing home sales, and we are seeing that is your area, the affordable housing area, because your program's up. What did you guys put out a stat on? It's over 70% of plan.
So we're up 70% over last year.
Yeah, but if you're not a big builder, I've heard that it's a challenge. It's a challenge to build in that range, and have the margin they want on those houses. You've got people like Sattler and Verity and some of those that have figured that out, but they don't build a home or two or five or 10. Yeah. They build 50.
And they've gauged that market, and they know it's there.
And they buy supplies ahead of time because they plan to build. Yeah. So
and they're not overbuilding either. They're building. They've got a good feel of the market.
They're not building as fast as they have.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So they've done a good job with that too.
That's the lending perspective.
Yeah. No, let's talk about the tariffs that obviously have come into play here with our president and the Chinese. It's certainly affected home building. I guess Jim's given us the 1 minute signal here, but maybe we'll talk about that when we come back from the break, and whether are you seeing an effect here locally yet?
Well, that'll be to be determined after the break, I guess.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, Jim, what are we going
Suspense.
on? Blue sky.
I wish we had the effects. We get the suspense music.
Ooh. Blue Sky, also a Dickie Betts song from the Allman Brothers.
Right now, 48.
Weekends with Twilight Zone Radio on Super Talk 1270.
All right, we are back on the Dakota Housing Network, Straight from the Heart by the Allman Brothers and Dickie Betts. And we're here with our victim, Dot Frank, who we kidnapped to come on the show today. We like to call her a guest, though.
That's what we
insist.
To
call her a guest. We insist on calling her a guest.
We are trying to avoid all federal charges at this point.
Yes, okay.
I am kind of concerned because you've been saying this that I'm the victim and I've been kidnapped for about 50 minutes now, and I have yet to hear sirens outside of the building.
No one seems to
no one really seems to care.
Now what?
Okay. Well, call 663-1270 and you'll see Dot is doing fine. We'll let you talk with her.
Break me out.
We'll let you talk with her. Yes, okay. All right. So big news, obviously, is these tariffs.
Yes.
And all the products that are going to go up in price, and that includes a lot of stuff that home builders use.
Yes.
So have we seen anything yet, Dot?
Yeah. So, on a local level, this isn't something that, to be honest, hear our guys talking about. It's kind of a reality of working within the industry that you kind of have to, take and roll with the punches, but this is potentially going to be a big punch to the housing industry. And fortunately, our association, like other home builders associations across the country, are members of the National Association of Home Builders, so NAHB. And NAHB, this is their primary function, is to follow these types of large-scale changes that transpire at a national level and encourage that we have a voice on Capitol Hill. And so, the thing that's really interesting is, and we've got really, really great information. So if people are interested about the potential impacts of this, or about housing at all, anybody and everybody could go visit a site that's called nahbnow.com. So nahbnow.com has a ton of really, really interesting housing-related articles, everything from tariffs to just, what's the top trends in home construction. And so I was able to pull some information off of that. The thing that I think is really interesting is this second round of tariffs, where there's the 10%, and that will eventually lead to a 25% increase, includes 6,000 items. And of the 6,000 items, 463 are commonly used in residential construction and remodeling. And it's everything from granite, vinyl tile floor coverings, cast iron, glass, stainless steel, aluminum, socket wrenches, screwdrivers. All of those things are going to be impacted by this tariff. And all of those items are used on a very regular basis in home construction.
Yeah. So our appliances are going to go up in price for everybody, not just the home builders.
Not just the home builders, because this is, this impact on the construction industry is not just new construction, it's remodeling. So if you've got to replace any of these items, or you have a project coming up, potentially they could be impacted by this new tariff.
And I thought I had the tool that worked for that, but I don't. Now I got to go buy it, and it's more expensive.
Yeah.
This just in from the Rob Chrisman blog, Rob Chrisman with the Stratmore Group. China will cut import tariffs on more than 1,500 items, lowering their overall tariff rates to 7.5% from 9.8%. The reduction will take effect on November 1st, and it is unclear if the cut will apply to goods from the United States.
Okay. They're being secretive about that as usual.
So.
Okay. Well, it's a game that's going to be played out way above our pay grades, and we will see what happens with it. It's President Trump trying something.
The one thing that I think
move the needle, so to speak.
Yeah, and I applaud change. I mean, we're an association that's driven by change, and we have to make accommodations to move when it comes to change to ensure that we're providing the best services for our membership. But I think when it comes to issues like this, it's really difficult for an independent builder in Bismarck or Mandan, North Dakota, to truly digest the information and follow it from start to finish. And that's why associations like ours exist, because your membership within our association gives you access and helps support the efforts that people with the higher pay grades or outside of our environment who have, the education necessary to have meaningful discussion and fight on our behalf. So it truly is. This is a reason why associations like ours exist, is so that together we can, have the right people in place to talk about this important.
The guys that are building the homes, they need to build the homes, not
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think is really interesting, this is another statistic that came from us from NAHB, is when it comes to residential construction, of the goods that are used in residential construction, there is well over a quarter of those goods that are coming from China. So of the overall spending, there is about $45 million that's attributed, $45 billion attributed to imports from other countries. Nearly half of that, 21 billion, is coming from China. So it's a large amount of goods that we're importing from that country that now will face some tariffs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's going to play out over I don't know how long they'll go with this. 6 months, a year. I mean, whatever. We don't know at this point. Another question: How's the labor workforce doing in Bismarck Mandan for the builder?
Well, I mean, labor across the board continues to be a challenge for us and all industries, retail, restaurant, medical and beyond. And, North Dakota consistently has a very low unemployment rate, and that affects us. So not only do we have, a small pool of potential employees out there, that pool shrinks even further when you look at how few are getting into the construction and building trades. And so we're getting hit, from two different regards, just the lack of total people that we can pull from, and then those people that are interested in pursuing the trades. And so we've got some excellent educational opportunities in our community, not only at the post-secondary level. So BSc is a wonderful way to get involved. I mean, United Tribes Technical Technical College has some programs. Wapaton, again, is a big producer in the construction trades. But even at a high school level, and we encourage parents, if you've got kids, that maybe their skill set doesn't lie within, a traditional, 9 to 5, sit in the office, punch on a keyboard. They're hands-on. They like to create and construct. There is incredible opportunity for them to, make a wonderful living in the construction trades.
Yeah. And, the thing I've always heard from guys that have done it, if you learn how to swing a hammer and you go on and do something else, you can always come back to swinging the hammer.
Absolutely. It's something you can always fall back on.
Yes. It is a good safety net.
Absolutely.
Because there likely will always be something that we'll need.
Yeah. So take advantage of those classes. When you're in high school, take advantage of the classes that are available through the Career Academy. Those carpentry classes, the welding classes, all of those will give you a taste. And you might find that this is something that you really, really enjoy. Yeah. And you can continue to be a laborer. A lot of laborers turn into business owners.
Yeah, exactly. Do the builders have like a lot of summer jobs for high school kids that are, in the summer?
Yeah. So, a lot of the work is seasonal.
Yeah.
One of the things that we're working on, and this, again, shows how important it is to belong to associations like ours. In addition to the outreach and the work that gets done on our behalf by the National Association, we have a state association. So the North Dakota Association of Builders. And what their job is at a state level to really find ways to work with our legislators to ensure that there's, different opportunities for our industry. One of which is there's going to be some real conversation transpiring this legislative session about age requirements and construction. It used to be that, you maybe learn from your dad or your uncle, or you'd have a friend and you'd apprentice. But the way that society has gone, we've become almost too safe. And so we're preventing kids at an age where really they could be influenced and learn to develop these skills from even trying because of concern of safety. And so there's going to be a real hard look at, we don't want to jeopardize anybody's health and safety, that's for sure. But sometimes when you start them a little bit earlier in the long haul, it is better for them. They are safer. They learn the right ways to do things rather than their independent ways.
And you're teaching them before they can drink. One of the things my sister used to work at a Coast to Coast in City, Montana. She said on the weekends it was amazing how many men came in and bought power tools, half to the wind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she said it was crazy. She's like, we almost should have to do a breathalyzer to let you out with a power saw. She's like, it was concerning. She's like, hey, why? In this case, hey, teach the kids. Yeah. We know that they're going to be, straight laced and sober when they're handling power tools.
Well, that was a little scary for your sister, I bet.
Yeah. These are do-it-yourselves. No, these are not professionals.
What's going to happen at that place?
Yeah, I mean, she's like, one of the things I was always amazed at how many power tools were bought on Saturdays and Sundays by do-it-yourselfers.
Yep.
Well, there's got to be plenty of jobs for a 15-year-old kid to work at a construction site. It's not dangerous.
No, exactly. And prohibiting them from being in that environment is really what's harmful. I mean, there's certain limitations that absolutely we should abide by. They shouldn't be, using certain types of equipment, but to be in that environment is really beneficial for them, not on those pieces of equipment, but around and working in ways that are safe for them based on their skill set.
Yeah, you're watching the guys do it.
I lost a couple fingernails, on working on construction when I was a kid, and they were great character building experiences. I can't imagine right now having lost those experiences because the rules were too tight to let me work on construction sites when I was 17, 18.
Yeah. I mean, I was working on a farm when I was 10, so I don't know.
You're probably driving stuff.
I was driving a tractor when I was 10 on the farm, so I'm here.
Again.
Yeah. Okay, well, before we leave, we got to run through the parade of homes again. Dot, give it a go. What's going on?
Yeah, so we encourage everybody to get out and experience our fall parade of homes. We've got 38 homes open for touring. Tickets are just $10, but we'd like you to heed our advice and bump up that contribution to $20 to get an exclusive pink ticket so that we can make a contribution to the Bismarck Mandan Cancer Center Foundation. Follow the signs. That's the easy way to get about and find that first house where you can purchase a ticket, and definitely download our app. That will help you navigate the terrain.
Just do a search on whether it's Google
your app
or
store.
Apple.
Yep, go into your app store. Any type of device, search BMHBA.
All right, and website?
bismanparade.com.
Which the app would be there too.
Yes.
Also, I bet. Okay. All right, Jim, what are we ending on?
Mountain Jam.
Mountain Jam, one of the classics from the Allman Brothers. Dickie Betts, hopefully he's doing well after his accident and stroke that he had. So we will leave you on the Dakota Housing Network, and we will be back next week.